Welcome to Regan's Corner. We got a special guest. We have a star volleyball player at Morgan Township, the school we almost went to. So, Ava, how's it going? What's it popping? And how is this October night treating you?
I'm doing pretty good. The weather's pretty nice, so I've been just chilling all day. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. Okay, so how did you start in the game of volleyball?
I think I started in middle school in 7th grade. I wasn't the best player at all. I was on like the C team. And so I just played volleyball, started for fun, and then my love for it just kind of grew from there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so kind of going into it a little bit more and stuff like that, when did you kind of really like blossom as the player you are today?
Honestly, probably this year. Last year was a little we've always had different coaches. So I was on JV my freshman and sophomore year, and those were some really good seasons. I was actually middle for both of them, and then my junior year came and we had a different coach and we had a lot of hitters, and in order for me to have a little bit of playing time, I was like, I'm just going to go on the right side so I just have some varsity minutes. And I liked it. It was like okay, but obviously the right side doesn't get all the sets possible. It's like the hardest one to set. And so my senior year came and we got another new coach, and she's great and she's very helpful. And she looked at me and she's like, I saw like you're a middle for sure. And then I haven't played middle for a really long time. So I had to remember all the plays and rework it throughout the summer. And I'm still learning and working at it. But my coach is awesome. She's so good.
Absolutely. You can kind of see it the two times you guys played here at South Central, the difference from the first game to the second game. Excuse me, the first time you guys played at home, you can kind of see a difference between you guys' attitudes and stuff like that. Where
For sure.
uh,
Yeah.
at home, you guys against satellites were like, eh, okay, but you played at South Central. You're like, we're gonna beat them. Okay, they're not that good, not that bad. Okay, kind of mentality. You could see it. The like switch in the PCC semi there.
Yeah, for sure. We have been building our team, like regrouping, rebuilding the program since our new coach has come in. She really drills in like to have a good mentality throughout the whole game. And so when we first South Central at home, it wasn't like the best mentality because they're really great. And we knew that going into it. And I think that we were all just a little bit nervous when we were going up against them. And then the second time we played them at South Central, we were like, okay, we're at least let's play to win. You know what I'm saying? And even though we lost, we did beat them in a set, and that was really exciting for us. And so it was a really big change in our team for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys were super competitive in all the games you guys played against them. Okay, there was only really one set that wasn't the whole year. Um, But kind of taking your mindset and stuff like that, playing a team like South Central, like how do you get up with that game and stuff like that? It's a tournament game. You guys lost to them before. Okay. So how do you kind of like the mindset into a game like that?
You just kind of have to tell yourself play to win. Like a lot of girls at school, like the day of the game, we're always like, "Oh, we're gonna win," and we get hyped on the bus. Some of us listen to some hype music. Other girls just talk to each other and have a good time and have a lighthearted mentality before going into it. And then in the locker room before every game, we always have some sort of motivational pep talk from our coach. And then going into it, we just try to have the best warm up we can and just to get our, blood pumping and warm up. And then when we play our game, we just go.
Absolutely. But kind of flashing back to your 7th grade days and stuff like that. What kind of advice do you have for future Cherokees? Because you said kind of you were in C team and stuff like that when you first started, but kind of throughout your days and improving and stuff like that to your senior year.
Um, Advice I would give to the younger girls is to be good to your teammates. Um, Being a kind player is honestly the most important thing to me. It's not about being the best player, it's about being like the nicest player. And with yourself, if you want to be up there and want to be the best, just work at it, you know? And I know I'm not the best on my team either. Like all the girls to me are equally good in their own way. Like our libero is a great passer, and all of our DSs are really good passers, and I'm not a good passer. And then our hitters are great hitters, and our setters can set. Like we're like you have to think of yourself as equal to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And um, if you want to make yourself a better player, just work at it. Talk to your coach, make meetings with her, and our coach will definitely be willing to help anyone else out. And I know all the other coaches in PCC are really competitive also, so they would
Mhm.
obviously help any player grow.
Absolutely. It seems like everyone in the PCC, coaches wise, are very good in that aspect. And what I've seen out of everyone, okay, because you can have one of those coaches that just absolutely lays into a player, okay,
Yeah.
but I really don't see that too much with volleyball and PCC, what I've seen so far this year. But kind of getting into like the AAU stuff and everything like that. So did that help you develop a little bit faster pace?
Yeah, it definitely did. Um, when I got into like my high school career, it's obviously a faster paced game. So obviously you have to up your own game as your own player. So if you want to get playing time, then you have to really work at it and show that you want to win because and you also have to want to win with your team and not just for yourself because volleyball is such a team sport and you have to be with your team the whole time. If they make a mistake, don't blame your teammate. Just get back at it and just go. Because if you want to win, you got to encourage your teammates also.
Absolutely. It's such a mental aspect game because it's so quick. So kind of what you have learned throughout the 4 years that you've been playing softball, ba volleyball, uh, I caught myself there.
I was like,
Volleyball,
oh.
volleyball, what have you learned mentally and stuff like that?
I've learned mentally that volleyball taught me a lot about teamwork and working with other people. Because if you want to get to your goal and like at anything in life, then you have to work well with other people. You have to encourage your teammates or your coworkers to get to the goal that you want to get. Especially in volleyball, it's such a like I've emphasized this whole talk that we've had. Um, if your passer or the setter or the hitter messes up, you have to pat them on the back and say, "Hey, get the next one," because your mentality might fall through negatively, and then you beat yourself up. It's such a mental thing, and so you have to just let your teammates know that you're there for them in order for the win to come through, because
Mhm.
winning is also like winning at heart. That's so cheesy, but it's so true. You got to be a good person to your team. And if you all work together, like South Central, for example, honestly, is such a good team because they work together. I feel like they're just so trained to be together as one. Like if there's a pass that wasn't the best, like there's always somebody running and going after it. And so you just got to have each other's backs. And that's what I've learned from volleyball.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, kind of getting into the ki what are your goals the rest of the season, and what are your goals beyond this season?
For this season, we are going into our last two normal games. And so for those, that'll be this week on Monday and Tuesday. For that, I hope we win, and then we can enjoy our time because a lot of our team is full of seniors. And I just think that we need to enjoy it and have a good time. And then with sectionals, I mean, that'd be amazing if we won our sectionals. And so we just got to continue to work hard and enjoy our last few moments of high school volleyball.
Absolutely. So glad you brought up the sectional. Okay. So what do you do with a team like Kouts in that sectional? Okay. After they just revenged South Central's loss, how do you build on the success you had against South Central? Because that game, for the most part, was a neck game till the end in the PCC championship game. So, how do you pull that, make that upset in the sectional?
Cows is a very together team also. They have a lot of fire, and that's why they win all the time, because you can tell every single person on the court has a heart for the game, and that they all get so excited to win. And in order for us to go up against them, I think our whole team needs to really want the win, because I truly believe my team has the skill to win, but we all just have to want the game. And that's what it comes down to, is who wants it more.
Absolutely. I like that mentality. Okay. I love it. Okay. So, kind of getting into the different aspects coming this year. What is your favorite like off season workout getting ready for the volleyball season?
Well, I used to participate in track, and track kept me in shape a lot before volleyball season came around, because in the winter time, like, I gave myself a little bit of a break, because when your volleyball season's pretty long, so it can be draining sometimes. So in the winter, I would give myself a nice break. I would just go get a job and work for a little bit, and go to my school's basketball games and be in the pep block. And then when spring came around, I would participate in track and field to keep me in shape for my volleyball season.
Okay. So, a little self-care, a little bit of a mental break and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Okay.
For,
Which is very great when you're playing basically year-round in volleyball with the AU and stuff like that, and kind of you kind of want to take a little time. I like that. So you're not mentally drained when the season comes.
yeah,
Okay. So
it's very mental sport, so you gotta take care of yourself and give yourself a little bit of break. It's really nice just to chill at home, or go work and get a little bit of money. And so it's a little nice when winter comes around, just to have a little bit of a break.
absolutely. Okay. So what is your like funniest or like unusual like superstition before a game or your teammates or something along those lines?
Um, okay, it's kind of funny. Me and my friend Carly Rocky, she's the other middle of my team. On the bus on the way there, it's just funny because we're always like in our seats, just like blasting music in our ears and like chilling out, and everyone else behind us is like talking and laughing it up, and then we're like there just looking kind of like emo and just sitting there with like music blasting our ears before it. That's pretty funny. And um after the game, sometimes if we lose, our coach gets very upset with us, and she'll take our phone away. So we definitely utilize listening to music before we go into a game. So normally it's like me and Carly always just blasting music and being kind of like in our zone. So yeah.
Okay, I like it. I like it. The coach just puts it probably in a thing before, and then you guys after can get it.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. I like the mentality. Um, but uh, what is like the longest or the like craziest bus ride in these 4 years that you've ever experienced?
Oh gosh, I can't remember what year this was. I think this was my junior or sophomore year, but I remember like the varsity team like played WAP on the bus, like on the way home from a game, and like the bus driver got so mad at us. So that was probably one of the craziest memories I can remember on a bus ride. And like the coaches were pretty mad too. So
Oof,
yeah.
oof. Okay. So that's a little rough, but
Yeah.
kind of getting into the pandemic a little bit, 2020, okay, your sophomore year. So how was all that, and how was it kind of playing on JV through that pandemic, that kind of situation, possibly playing with a mask? How was kind of all that like?
It was an adjustment with wearing masks all the time. I mean, in real life too, it's weird when you like had to see everyone wear a mask and not see any faces. And at some points in the game, you would have to wear a mask, and it's hard to breathe and like talk to your teammates while you're playing. And like most of us would have it like under our nose, and we're not supposed to, but we did because we didn't want to pass out while we're playing volleyball. So it was definitely a hard obstacle to face, and I'm glad that it's over for sure.
Me too, absolutely. Okay, because I used to work at the Y, and then I used to have this like mask, kind of like a ski mask, and then have a full on like cleaner's mask on while I was like teaching swimming. And like you said, it's super hard, like with
Yeah,
volleyball and other sports, to kind of be like, hey, you gotta break it a little bit, okay,
right,
even though it's a
right.
pandemic and stuff like that. But what colleges are you currently looking at for uh, school, or kind of the look and see, and what majors are you kind of trying to go for?
So I got accepted into my first school, Grand Canyon University in Arizona. And I'm going to be studying broadcast journalism and new media there. And then I'm applying to, of course, some in-state schools too to make it a little bit easier on my family. I've been applying to Huntington, which is in Indiana, and then Purdue and Ball State. But I'm pretty set on going to Grand Canyon, and my parents are pretty supportive about it too. I'm just applying to other schools just to see other campuses and see what every place is like. But I pretty much already know where I'm going. So I'm really excited.
Absolutely. Okay. And I hear from Reagan Horner that is a beautiful campus.
Oh,
Okay, in Grand Canyon.
it's so nice. I haven't visited yet, but I mean I've been like Googling a bunch of um things for there, and I've seen a bunch of like pictures of the campus, and it's so nice. So I'm really excited to see it.
Absolutely. It's one of our like, if we get super funded, it's one of our spots that we like to go. BYU is one of them, uh, and Grand Canyon, just to interview the athletes in their hometowns and stuff like that. Okay, because Notre Dame athletes have advantage since it's only 45 minutes away. Purdue has advantage because it's only an
Right.
hour away. Uh, Same with Valpo. I mean, but like you're aware of, we interview everyone around the country. So it would be a
Right.
nice road trip for us.
Yeah.
But
So
getting back to your story,
nice little vacation.
for sure, absolutely. But let's get to the hot corner here, okay? To get to know you a little bit more, Ava. Okay, so what is your favorite snack of all time?
Well, that's so hard. um Right now, I love candy. This is like the weirdest candy you could ever eat, but I love bottle caps. They're so good. I literally just ate a box before I hopped on here. So it's like a bunch of like soda flavored candy. It's really good.
Hey, it's not that weird. I mean, I used to love the like root beer ones and stuff like that. So
My total favorites for sure.
so good, so good. So, what is your favorite sports movie of all time?
Oh, I haven't really watched many sports movies. I've not really watched any sports movies before. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. So what is your favorite movie of all time?
Um, I like a lot of Marvel movies. I grew up watching them with my dad and my brother. They're pretty good. I like Dear John. One of those Nicholas Sparks movies are so good. Those are probably my favorites. Disney movies can never go wrong either.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So let's see here. Trying to think. What's your favorite position on the volleyball court?
Honestly, I used to not like the middle at all. Outside was my favorite, and then I played middle my senior year, and I absolutely love it. It's so fun because I don't have to pass at all, and I don't like passing. So probably the middle for sure.
Absolutely. Okay. So have you ever experienced beach volleyball?
I've played for fun, like, but not competitively or in any clubs. But I've played beach volleyball with my friends, and I like it a lot for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So what are some aspects you're going to take from this year and just kind of that you've learned and stuff like that and use it at Grand Canyon for whatever athlete you're interviewing from their thing and whatever athlete interviewing for our podcast next year and stuff like that. So, what are some things that you'll take from Morgan Township over at Grand Canyon?
Since I know a lot about volleyball knowledge, I hope I can interview some volleyball players down at Grand Canyon or wherever school I end up going to. Um, Probably just asking them about their own personal high school life and how they got into their season at their college. And then I'm just probably going to ask them what their favorite position is and where they see themselves going after college, if they want to play professionally or anything else like that.
Absolutely. 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 Okay. We have a couple that we know like personally and stuff like that. So in the summer we can even groom you for that and stuff. But kind of going through all those sports and stuff like that. Um, what is your second favorite sport?
Um, I mean, the other sport that I have done is track, and the only part that I liked about that was long jump. I really liked that aspect of it. But to watch, I love watching soccer. My best friend plays soccer, and I try to go as many games as I can. It's so fun, and I wish I would have participated in it in high school, but it would just overlap with volleyball, so I never could. But if they were at like different times, then I would totally have played soccer.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Um, but it's always a pleasure having a high school player of your caliber here on Regan's Corner Sports Network so we can promote you. We may interview again sometime in January and stuff like that. Uh, but stay froggy, my friend.
Thank you for having me.